Hello. It's been a hot minute, hasn't it? Um, I have been busy fighting a conflict, but I have made time to catch up. It is indeed finished. This is the Armored Core Gaia, and it is, compared to the Victoria, an interesting build. There are some very, very striking similarities, obviously, because it shares quite a few of its parts, but you definitely get a lot more with it. Now, if I were to perhaps recommend one of the two, I would definitely recommend this over the Victoria because they are the same price roughly, but you get more things. However, there's a caveat. You get more things that you need to paint. Mainly being these back weapons here. Very one, they are very loose, but two, yes, they do indeed. They do indeed have some very nice detail and action features. I forget what this one specifically does. I think it just pivots. But this one, there's quite a bit of paint missing, but it does have decent detail. You get this nice gun barrel. The other is the one where most of the kind of gimmicks are, and it is also in needing of quite a bit of paint. Unfortunately, I have since discarded the instruction manual, so I can't give you a complete breakdown of, but I do know that this is some form of laser cannon. And you fold it up like that, and then it swings over the shoulder. Ooh. Again, these are kind of loose. They're friction fit joints. There isn't anything particularly secure about them. There is, again, a lot of stuff that needs to be painted, mainly in like a beige color, if I recall. Likewise, with the Moonlight laser blade, it is missing some gray, and the rifle also missing some various shades of gray. Um, However, the completed package is just a lot more interesting in terms of just content of what you're getting in this package here. There's a lot of fun gimmicks. You do have the, as I mentioned earlier, the removable orbits, and they do their thing. Um, they're reasonably detailed, however, putting them back on and keeping them stable is a challenge. Which I would describe the articulation for this figure similarly is a challenge. It will stand, and that's about all you're going to get without its feet falling apart, unfortunately. Um, what, you know, it's difficult to really say who this is for other than Armored Core fans, but if you're looking for an Armored Core kit, particularly a 3rd gen AC, this is not a bad option. There is, however, another option piloted by the same pilot, Oracle, who's, if you recall, their little patch is tampo printed on. Oh dear. Let me see if I can focus that. Please. Please. It's tampo printed on there. It looks pretty nice, but again, the paintwork is not. It is pretty well multicolored, and honestly, if you told somebody that this is just how it's supposed to look, you could probably get away with it. But there is quite a bit of color correcting painting that would need to be done. A lot of these little markings where there's panel lining, like on the crotch, the torso, uh, the back here. These are supposed to be gold or yellow along with the black background. But again, fairly solid for what you get. Is it worth the price of purchase, though? That's up for you to decide. I will say that these Kotobukiya Armored Core kits tend to at least somewhat hold up a bit better in terms of joint durability. My Bandai 30-minute missions Nightfall Raven figure or kit is already kind of just become a floppy mess because it doesn't use any polycaps. All of my Kotobukiya kits, however, have become relatively stable with the exception of his feet. Those are weird because of the weird hydraulic piston gimmicks. Now, it is worth noting that this guy is a little bit smaller in size compared to the Victoria, as I will now demonstrate. Here is the Victoria, the two side by side, and you can see it's just a little bit smaller, but that extra space is being used effectively with these extra back weapons, which is pretty fun. I will say visually, it's honestly a preference of style, but I would say if you're just sheerly wanting gimmicks and part count, this is the one to go for. Another interesting comparison, as you look at my arm, is this is a first gen AC, the 9 ball. This is one I built off camera, unfortunately, and I decided not to make a video on it, along with the other kit, the Agni. That one's just very finicky to film. It requires a stand to even keep itself upright, let alone moving it around. But you can see these guys are all relatively the same size, and they are all 1/72nd scale. So they are in scale with a lot of your military models. If you are collecting those, these are roughly the same size. Perhaps for a better point of reference, uh, you could compare this to some model kits, like aircraft-based model kits, based models of aircraft, and you kind of get a good idea for how big these things are. And I would say these are pretty darn fun to put together. So, if you're going for armored core kits, I think I will always just kind of consistently recommend the Kotobukiya kits over the Bandai 30-minute missions kits. And while the Bandai ones are very appealing and they are of the new game, and they're kind of currently the only way to get model kits or figures of the newest ACs from Armored Core 6, they may have a lot of quality of life features. Their plastic quality and overall durability long term is nowhere near as high quality as these Kotobukiya kits, which I will always recommend. And something that's really interesting is there's going to be an even larger scale set of Kotobukiya Armored Core figures coming called the Variable Infinity Plus or something like that, Vios. Uh, and it's supposed to be bigger, maybe 1/48th scale. And the first kit they have announced is Steel Haze, the mech or the armored core that Rusty uses in Armored Core 6, and it looks to be very, very thoroughly detailed, like even more so than these. Very, very high end looking, and I do plan on getting it. It's a ways out. It's not going to be out until January, but when it's available for me at a reasonable price, I do plan on picking it up. But for now, I know the holiday season is coming up for some people, and some of you guys are interested in maybe trying new kits. And if you like Armored Core, all three of these are phenomenal options. They're quite fun. I enjoy building them. They do require a little bit of work, but with that bit of work, they will look really good. So, um, hmm, I need to, I have to file some documents to, for finalize my divorce. It's been a interesting time. So, we'll see you later.